When I sold my business this summer, I learned something the really hard way. It took me almost 3 or 4 months to track down and shut off everything that was auto billing me. There was one charge, over $500 a month, from a Google Ads account that I didn't even recognize. I spent weeks trying to figure out what it was tied to, and in the end, I literally had to cancel my credit card and report it as fraud just to make it stop. And that's when it hit me. If I hadn't sold the company, I never would have found half of those leaks, and they were happening every single month. Honestly, it's kind of sickening to think of how much profit I was bleeding without even realizing it. But today, you don't have to go to that extreme. You don't have to sell your business or tear your world apart just to uncover where the money's disappearing, because I built something for you. It's an AI-powered profit leak analyzer that digs through your P&L and finds the hidden leaks and shows you exactly how to plug them before they drain another dollar in 2026. So let's fix the leaky boat now before we head into the next year. Hey everyone, it's Tom, and I'm here in the Hero Group AI Labs with yet another experiment. If you've been in this industry for any length of time, you already know that body shops don't go broke because of one big mistake. They go broke because of 1,000 tiny leaks that nobody notices. It could be a subscription that you forgot about, or a vendor creeping up prices month after month, materials rising faster than your car count, payroll drifting out of alignment with production, a parts margin that's quietly shrinking, or an ad campaign that's still spending money even though you haven't touched it in a year. Individually, none of these things feel like a crisis, but together they can wipe out tens of thousands of dollars a year. And the worst part is you never feel it happening. It just shows up as a, why isn't there more money in the bank? Or how did we work so hard this month to make so little? Or why does it feel like we're busy? The busier we get, the less we keep. That's profit leakage, friends. And fixing it is one of the fastest ways to increase your net profit without adding a single new car to your schedule. So today we're going to change the way that you see your numbers. I've built an AI profit leak analyzer that looks at your P&L line by line, month by month, and identifies exactly which expenses are growing faster than the sales. And it'll show you where the leaks are, how severe they are, and what's costing you every single month. And then it gives you a plan to fix it. How cool is that? This is going to be a full walkthrough, and the best part is you can download your P&L, download my prompt, and follow along with your own data as I do it on screen. By the end of this experiment, you'll know where your money's really going, which expenses are outpacing your revenue growth, how much profit you're losing without realizing it, which leaks are quick fixes versus structural problems, and what you can do in the next 90 days to recover that lost profit. All right, let's get into it. Upload your P&L, and I'll show you exactly how the tool works. So let me share my screen here. I have the prompt here, the master prompt, and I'm just going to copy it. I'm going to make this one quick. A lot of my videos are kind of long. I'm going to make this a fast one. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to upload a P and L to do my profit analysis, and then to give you the prompt. So first, let's upload the P&L. And now let's give it the prompt. And let her rip. This is real shop data, by the way. It's a real P&L. What it's going to do is it's going to calculate your month-over-month sales growth. And then it's going to look through your P&L at all the areas where you spend money. And it's going to look for the ones that are outpacing your sales growth. That's broadly speaking what it's going to do, but it does a whole lot in here. This might be overkill for you guys, but it's thorough. So I wanted to include everything I could think of in this prompt. You know, if it's a section that you don't really care about, you can just skip over it. But Just so you know, guys, on these videos, when I do these, I'm not doing these ahead of time. Like this is, I'm doing this live. I'm kind of, messing around with this thing. I've got the prompt kind of where I want it before I shoot these videos, but I'm doing them live. This is the first time I'm seeing this, so. We successfully calculated month-by-month sales totals and month-over-month revenue. The output shows extreme volatility, multiple negative swings, several severe revenue compression months, huge rebound months, June and August, signs of volume inconsistency or operational bottlenecks. Guys, this is why whip adjustments are so important too, because if these numbers, if you're not doing whip adjustments in your numbers, none of this is useful. Because if you're going to show too much expense without the sales to back it up, this won't work. So you need a whip adjusted P&L. And I'm not sure the one that I was given if it is whip adjusted or not. I'm assuming it is. Okay, so, and if you don't know what whip adjustment is, basically you're backing out all the expenses and sales out of a month. It may show sales because you got the work started and you have expenses towards it, but you got to move them out until the month that you actually deliver the vehicle. Okay, looks like we're starting to get some results here. Great. Gross profit quality findings. Gross profit trend is highly volatile. Your gross profit percentage swings dramatically month to month. I don't know if that sounds familiar at your shop, if yours do that or not, but the highs 60 to 61% in December and January. Healthy range would be 45 to 55, January, February, April, August. Severe collapses, March, May, July, and November. These collapses represent catastrophic gross profit failures far outside of collision industry norms, which is a target of 48 to 55%. This indicates parts losses, material overages, sublet overruns, miscoded income, carryover corrections, insurance underbilling, poor estimate capture, technician underproduction, or a mix of all of the above. Materials cost percent is acceptable mostly. Typical materials percent target 6 to 10% of sales. Your shop, lower range 4.8, high range 11.5, most months 6 to 9%, so you're right in that kind of sweet spot. Your materials cost is not the main cause of gross profit volatility. This means the real leaks are elsewhere, likely parts, sublet, or labor capture issues. Sublet percent very high. Collision industry norm 2 to 6%. Your sublet cost percent routinely is 12 to 17%. Several months exceed 16%. October 15.1, January 16.7. This is a major leak, likely causes not marking up sublet correctly. Now, I have another video that is coming out for year-end planning where I explain this. This shop actually has their own ADAS and alignment company. It's in another building. It's on the same sort of campus property. They can move cars from one to the other very easily. So they're not marking up their own sublets there because they're not wanting to double dip. So that's why there's not a markup on that. They're just billing for the sublets and making money on it. But the system, I didn't prompt it in there for it to realize that sublet is the profit center. So that's why it's saying that in here. And I could probably go in here and mention that and see how that changes things. But I did want to point that out. Okay. So materials cost. So sublet. Not billing sublet items fully to insurers, miscoding sublet as a COGS or expense sublet, missing admin fees, parts crediting not applied, supplements not written. Parts margin percent is extremely unstable. Industry target is 38 to 42% for collision. Your shop on strong months is between 42 to 59%, moderate months 23 to 35%, on disastrous months only 12.3%. July though was 53.3%. Negative parts margins means you paid more for the parts than you collected from the insurer or the customer. Causes include missing price matching credits, parts returned without credit, vendor overbilling, not updating estimates, supplements never submitted, tech purchase price off books. I don't think that's happening at this shop, but parts not associated with ROs, parts expensed incorrectly, and dealership special orders misapplied. So there's a lot of money leaking in parts. Now I'll tell you this, I'm going to be working on a parts product, an AI parts product, and I want to look at credits, and I want to look at cores, and I want to look at making sure that you're getting the discounting that you've negotiated with your vendors and all that stuff. So that'll come out sometime in 2026. It is on my roadmap. I'm already working on some of the things in the back end here. So I'll have a tool that can help you fix this. But at least we know that this shop is having a problem here. COGS spikes are driving gross profit collapses. Specifically, March sales was 356,000, COGS was 262,000, gross profit 28% versus a 50% target. May sales of 158, COGS of 196, so they lost money. July sales collapsed and COGS spiked 20% of gross profit. November sales of 305,000, COGS at 298, so gross profit only 2.5%. So underbilling, misbilling, missing of supplements. Summary of gross profit quality issues. Major leaks found. Sublet costs far above industry norms. Parts margins inconsistent with severe loss months. COGS spikes not tied to revenue changes. Severe gross profit collapses in March, May, July, and November. Income capture failure spread throughout the year. Likely supplement capture issues. Possible vendor reconciliation problems. Strong signals the material cost is stable. When volume is stable, gross profit returns to normal. December and January numbers prove that the shop can operate at a 60% gross profit. So the cool thing is here, it's going to find the potential in your business, identify where the problems are, and now we can start to tackle those so that we can keep them. It's proving that the business can make money. We just got to keep it consistent. Next steps, payroll leak analysis. This will detect payroll percent of sales trends, overtime spikes, underproduction indicators, labor efficiency warning signs, administrative headcount imbalance, any months where payroll grows faster than revenue, and then it uncovers staffing inefficiencies and so on. I don't know if I have what it needs, but let's see. Run step 5. I'm not sure if I've got the data it's going to need to do this, but we'll find out. Payroll percentage of sales is shockingly low. Collision industry norms target 12 to 18% of sales. Best in class 10 to 12%. Red flag when it's less than 20%. Shops payroll percent. Sorry, not less than. Greater than. Most months 2 to 3% payroll percent of sales. Highest 5.6 May. Several months less than 2%. Or give or take 2%. Interpretation, this is far below normal, which indicates payroll captured in the P&L is not your full payroll cost. This means that one or more of the following technicians are being recorded as COGS, not payroll. This is extremely common in auto body accounting. Body labor wages recorded under the 500 COGS. Paint wages under 500 COGS. It's showing where in the P&L this is from. Only administrative office payroll is showing up in expenses. This explains why actual payroll percent is tiny. Gross profit swings are massive. COGS spikes are catastrophic because tech labor is in COGS. You may also be missing payroll taxes, benefits, workers' comp, health insurance, PTO accrual, and overtime costs. So maybe it's maybe they need to go through and reclassify some things in their P&L here. Again, I was just handed this by a shop. Payroll spikes still correlate with revenue collapses. Even though the numbers appear small, watch this. May, revenue down 46%, payroll up 56%. Payroll percent 5.6% in the highest month. Gross profit collapsed to negative 24%. July, revenue down, payroll down but not aligned. Gross profit collapsed to negative 20%. November, revenue down, payroll up, gross profit went to 2.5%. Even with only partial payroll capture, the misalignment between revenue and payroll is still clear. Payroll consistency is relatively stable month to month, even though the values are incomplete. So I guess I don't have enough data. The internal pattern is payroll sits around 8 to 9,000 a month. Occasional drops 4 to 7. Occasional jumps 12 to 8. So here's the thing with this tool, guys. I'm only going off of what shops give me. I tell them what experiment I'm going to run, and I ask to have something. So if it's asking me for something and I didn't think that I needed it ahead of time, I don't have it for this experiment when I shoot it. It would be difficult to get it too, so because I'm going to have to go in there and get access to some pretty sensitive data. But if you are seeing things like this, just ask the chat, what do you need to see? like, I may not cover it in the video, but if it identifies a payroll area, like where it's saying it's incomplete, ask it, what do you need? What do you need me to supply you? Just right here in the chat, what do you need me to supply you? Go get it, send it to it, and let it continue on its way. It'll keep going, it'll keep building all this stuff out for you. I'm just going with a somewhat incomplete set of data. Just know that when watching this video. This is a classic front office payroll only, so it's missing some stuff. So let's just skip ahead here. Major payroll insight. I'm going to skip ahead. Materials vendor leak analysis. This will detect paint costs, material spikes, supply chain leaks, vendor overbilling. So let's see what we got. Run step 6. Material and vendor leak analysis major findings. Your material and vendor categories reveal chronic, high impact, and revenue decoupled leaks. These often represent $200,000 to $400,000 a year in profit loss for shops with similar patterns. Let's break it down. Material percent of sales, paint and supplies. Typical collision industry target is 6 to 10% of sales. Your shop is 6.3 to 32.2. The most stable months you're at 6 to 12%. There's some severe spike months. Even though your material costs average in the range over the year, the spikes represent acute production or costing failures, likely causes. Products purchased outside the mixing system with no tracking, technician uncontrolled usage, color match problems, remixes, and waste, missing material charges on estimates, discounts, or packaged items not billed correctly, inventory shrinkage or theft, or vendor overbilling or incorrect price levels. So each one of those is something that you can drill down into, try to figure out. I do have a paint scale analysis AI tool, so you can download your paint scale for the year or the quarter or the month or whatever you want to look at, run it against my prompt, and it'll tell you a lot of really cool things about what's going on in your paint department. So head to the AI Labs paint scale analysis report for that one. It was kind of a precursor to this video. Acute production or costing failures. Okay, so we talked about that. Sublet percent of sales is completely out of control. So I just out of curiosity, I'm going to go back and say that sublet is a profit center. I'm just curious what happens, but let's see. You can kind of read along here. Material growth versus revenue growth clearly indicates leaks. March, sales down. Materials growth up. Sublet growth. Sales growth, it's going through month to month. Vendor leak patterns, recurring leaks, paint cost spikes decoupled from revenue, massive sublet burst not offset by sublet income. So I just want to put in here, if I told you just curious what it says here. If the shop owns the sublet companies, then yes, the sublet costs showing 20 to 50% of sales are not a traditional leak. Here's what changes. The highest sublet cost percent is not necessarily a financial leak. If the money is simply moving from body shop to another business the owner controls, then it's not true vendor loss. Gross profit inside the shop will look terrible because the shop is paying sublet entries but not recording the sublet revenues. This artificially depresses gross profit, COGS, net profit. This could potentially be a taxing thing too. I don't know what they're doing necessarily. I just know that they own their own sublet, so maybe it's for tax purposes to put some of the burden on the business. I'm not sure. There's a lot of things that our P&L says that's not really quite true of what the business is doing, because we need to show certain things for certain tax reasons. I'm not privy to that, so putting that out there. The P&L is not reflecting true economic profitability. The shop P&L is being used as a cost center, not a profit center. This is normal when you own a calibration company, you own a towing company, which they do. You own a mechanical shop, which they do. You own an alignment business, which they do. You own a glass repair outfit, which they don't do. You own a detailing operation, which they do, and then you own paintless dent, which they don't. So they own a lot of these things. However, several findings do not change. Even with owned sublet companies, material spikes remain a real issue. So listen, we all know this is an industry-wide problem. Actually, these numbers aren't even from last year. They're from 2 years ago. And it's only gotten worse, right? So there are some great tools out there. Go see my friend Yanni at Eagle MMS. He's got a great tool to help you bill for your materials. So this won't even be an issue anymore, because it'll be profit center right on your P&L. But this shop does not have that, and it's showing up in this analysis. Parts margin collapses remain 100% real. When parts margins go to less than 12%, less than 53%, that's not caused by sublet ownership. It's not, because it's parts. They don't own a parts, company. Payroll structures issues remain. Technician payroll being buried in COGS is real, so they need to fix that in order for my analysis to work. COGS spikes remain real. Even if sublet is internal tech, labor, or parts COGS surges will still distort the gross profit and indicate missing supplements, under billing, misapplied costs, labor capture problems, and parts credit issues. So there may be some billing issues here that they need to take a look at. Sublet growth pattern still matters. Even if you own a sublet companies, the pattern is important. Sublet percent exploding in November still signals a production shift, technician shortage month, training or skill bottleneck, capacity problem, temporary pivot into heavy mechanical from frame calibration work, possible internal work misrouting. So yes, the loss isn't real, but the pattern is meaningful. What does change, the sublet percent is not a loss, it's a value transfer. It's not a leak, but it hides true gross profit and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, some things there. All right, so now we want to pick back up where we left off and go to step 7. Run step 7. So these are the charts and graphs and everything that it's doing. You can play with these. It's if it's like a color, you want to see it in a color, you want to see a different kind of chart or whatever, just tell this to let me see parts margin percent trend as a bar chart. And we've got interactive charts here. It's already built some we can change colors and stuff like that. Sales and net profit trends. Sales are volatile. Net profit is catastrophically negative in most months, even with strong sales in January, blah, blah, blah. Net profit only approaches positive once, January. Gross profit trend. Healthy gross profit margins, collapse months. These are the exact months where parts margin collapses, sublet collapses. Every catastrophic gross profit crash is tied to an operational or accounting event, not random chance. Payroll percent of sales. This confirms the earliest suspicion. Payroll is unrealistically low because the wages sit in COGS. So it doesn't like that. We need to pull that out. I don't have the ability to do that because I don't know what the real payroll is. Materials trend. We talked about that. Sublet trend. We talked about why that matters there. Why that's the instance there. Parts margin trend. This is the most violent chart of all. Strong months, 40 to 60%. Normal months, 20 to 35%. Collapse month, negative 12%, negative 53%. Negative parts margin equals you paid more from the parts than you were reimbursed. This is always a real leak regardless of sublet structure. I suspect this happens at a lot of body shops. It's so easy for parts to go on a car and miss a final bill that I am honing in on this, and this will go into my my parts tool that we're going to roll out in 2026. So you'll be able to just upload invoices, and we'll start analyzing these kinds of things. Some of these, we may make as free tools and put some cool, some development instead of just chat prompts. These prompts are great. You can do some of the stuff, yourself, but I want to build tools where you don't have to keep uploading a prompt and uploading data. You can just have it grabbing things and storing a lot of this stuff, and it's not a prompt, but it's an actual product in the back end. So Parts Hero is on our radar for 2026. What step 7 confirms at a high level the shop is capable of exceptional performance. Your December and January gross profits are greater than 60%. This is elite. The shop's true economic model is being distorted by internal sublet transfers. Catastrophic gross profit failures are driven by 3 true leaks. Operational volatility is the core issue. Next step, profit impact calculations. This will calculate the dollar value for each leak, annualized loss, monthly loss, recoverable profit, and the top 3 financial leaks. So let's run step 8. Guys, I hope this stuff really helps you. I mean, I put a lot of time into these. And I know it's going to take time to watch and do this stuff, but man, if you put this into practice in your shop, it really should help you quickly get to the things. I mean, people pay a lot of money for consultants to come through and dig through all this stuff, and I'm giving it to you for free with AI, and all you got to do is just upload some stuff. You can still work with your consultants on how to address these issues that it's finding, but if you know what to work on, you'll get a lot more efficiency with your time with your consultants than having to pay them to do all this analysis for you. All right, total profit leak identified, $607,000 in recoverable profit, and here's why. We talked about all this above. Monthly leak summary. So here it is broken down by month. Wouldn't that be amazing to go back and see how much money you lost every single month? You could start really drilling down and figure out where this stuff went. They average a profit leak of $50,000 a month. Even though December shows strong gross profit and parts margin rebound, your total expense growth still outpaced revenue growth. This can happen when sublet timing loads up in December, year-end vendor invoices hit, several cost categories spike even though sales remain high, year-end payroll adjustments or bonuses hit, inventory reconciliations happen, so on and so on. So that's a large leak due to some of these accounting things. Major takeaway, your shop is losing about $600K a year from controllable, operational, correctable leaks, not from a bad business. Wouldn't that be comforting to know that it's fixable? Volatility in gross profit and COGS sublet material spikes confirm this. The next step. Now we move into the executive summary. This is where I deliver total number of leaks, top largest leaks. Let's find out what that is. Run. Step 9. Most urgent corrective action, and so on. So this was January 23 to January 2024. Like I said, this is some old data that somebody gave me. Annual revenue, $4.4 million. Annual net income, $1.2 million. Recoverable profit leakage, $607,000. Overall financial performance. Shop ended a year negative 23% effective net margin. Structural inconsistencies, COGS distortions, underbilling revenue versus expense decoupling. Profit leakage summary total, identified and quantified leak. Some of this stuff's kind of repetitive here. Largest leaks, parts margin volatility. So they got to work on parts. Next, they got to work on getting the tech wages unburied out of there so that this tool can analyze your payroll better. Materials sublet spikes. So we got to start working on getting paid for the materials we put on the vehicles and not using the stupid formula that we've used since the dawn of time. Percent of labor hours. monthly total monthly leak table condensed. So there's which months were the bad ones. Urgent corrective action. Normalize the P&L to separate operational reality from internal sublet transfers. So fix that to kind of get better picture here. Single biggest opportunity: fix inconsistent parts and materials capture. Shop has operational capacity to be highly profitable, but accounting structure, parts, materials, sublet volatility, and revenue alignment failures caused over $600,000 in preventable financial leakage, all of which can be corrected. So let's run step 10. Sorry if some of this stuff starts to become repetitive in here. I just want to show you how thorough this is. Detailed leak report. So this is summarizing it. Well, not summarizing it. It's going into detail everything. So I'm not going to read through all this stuff for you because it's going to start to get too repetitive here. But severity, growth delta. So this is what I was talking about. So my business partner in the Hero Group is got an MBA, way more degrees than I have. I just have a bachelor's of science in design. But he told me when building this tool, he said what he looks at when he's analyzing companies is he looks at the growth, the sales growth percentage month over month, and then looks at the cost of goods, any cost of goods that are rising faster than growth, month over month growth. That's what I built this tool to do, and that's what it's doing here and showing the delta. So that the growth for parts margin is 20 to 90% over revenue growth. So your parts costs are costing faster than your car sales are coming in. So that contributes to $260,000 a year there. Parts COGS decoupled from sales. Materials and paint supply leaks, $140,000 a year. Materials growth outrunning revenue growth. I think a lot of you guys probably have this problem. Sublet cost leaks, well, we know why that is, because it's a revenue transfer. It's not really a leak. Payroll and labor leaks. Can't really analyze that because I don't have a separate payroll report. Under production months, what that's costing you. Admin OPEX leaks, so expense growth outrunning revenue growth. Costing $50,000 to $70,000 a year. Software creep, vendor cost creep, health insurance, benefits, timing. So, this is stuff that's easy to lose sight of, and it just starts to bury, like these little $200 here and $500 there, $1,500 there, starts to really add up. Revenue and estimate capture leaks, missing supplements. So they're not capturing all the revenue in it suspects. Some estimating inconsistencies. The good news here, guys, is I have a tool called Reclaimer that is hitting the market in January. Depending on when you watch this video, it may already be in the market. You may already know about it. But it's designed specifically for helping with profit leaking by estimate scrubbing and finding OEM procedures and non-includeds that you're missing. It'll help you rebut the insurance companies and win back more lines on your estimates and documentation that they need. It'll help reduce the time it takes. In fact, it eliminates the time it takes to get all that pulled together for the insurance companies. And it's designed to get you paid and to get more of the profit back in and not leaking out. Summary financial impact. Boom, there's the numbers, what to do about it, actionable summary. So now we move on to step 11, and it's going to suggest what to do next. So not only does it figure out what's happening, but it's going to tell you what to focus on so you don't have to figure that out. So here's a 90-day profit recovery plan, what to focus on. Month 1, some quick wins to kind of get things moving. Vendor audit controls, lockdown estimate structure, find the missing supplements, find the missing sublet lines, like really drill down into these estimates and see what's going on here. But like I said, I got a tool for that. It's called Reclaimer. Check it out. Install AI supplement capture, administrative cost freeze, zero-based budgeting. So start looking at all the things you're spending your money on in the front office, gross profit, cycle time optimization month 2, labor production alignment, materials usage standardization, sublet and ADAS operational balance, constraint-based scheduling. It's all in here, guys. And if you have any questions about what any of this stuff is, just ask the tool. Just go in here, boom. What does constraint-based scheduling mean? Explain that to me. This is dynamic. That's the beauty of AI. It's what's so freaking amazing about it. If you don't understand anything in here, ask it. Just ask it. Have a conversation about it. This tool will allow you to do that. Month 3 payroll, scaling and margin tuning, overhead efficiency review, remove overtime dependency, final margin tune-up, 90-day recovery impact. Within 90 days, it thinks that you could recover $300,000 to $450,000. Wouldn't that be awesome? And then by the end of the year, $750,000. This plan puts the shop back into predictable, scalable, profitable operations. Now, run step 12, final output. And we'll just about wrap this video up here. Guys, if you like this content, please send me ideas. I'm always looking for ideas of ways I've got a whole list here that I'm going to keep doing. But if you have things that you are struggling with, things that are mysterious and you can't uncover them in your shop, please reach out to me. Send me a message at tom@herogroup.ai or pick up the phone and call me. And my phone number is in my emails. It's on the website. Get a hold of us. Tell me what you want me to work on next. I've got a whole 2026 plan, but I'm happy to change that around and add these videos and do some experiments and build some of these tools for you. And it's my pleasure. I enjoy doing this. All right, Profit Leak Analyzer, final report. Boom, here's the date range. Here's the repair shop. Here's the numbers, executive summary, month over month revenue growth. So that's what we calculated first. And then we looked at the expense growth versus the revenue growth. Looking at vendor cost creep, poor estimate capture, timing distortion, chart of accounts, leak detection, severe, moderate, and watch list. So here's the severe ones, here's the moderate ones, here's the ones to keep an eye on. Expense to sales ratio trends, here's where we're at with that. Gross profit quality analysis, it's unstable. Payroll leak detection, payroll showing 2 to 5% of sales unrealistic. Vendor materials leak detection, visual charts already in step 7. Profit impact calculations, what we think we can recover annually and monthly. 90-day recovery plan, final recommendations, and boom, there's the end of the report. So guys, there you have it. That's the Profit Leak Analysis tool, AI tool. Hopefully you can just grab your P&L, grab the prompt, run the report here before the end of the year and see where you lost some money. Kind of get mad at yourself for not seeing it, just like I got mad at myself after selling the business, and then start working to fix it because it'll tell you exactly how to do it. So that's going to wrap up this video for me. Again, this is Tom Zoblin from the Hero Group here at the Hero Group AI Labs, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. The next one's going to be a really good one. It's going to be a whole entire year-end planning and analysis tool. So it's very in-depth. But it's going to really help you plan for 2026, and I'm excited for you to have it and put it to use. So that's it for me. Talk to you soon.